is Wednesday. Weird Wednesday. Welcome, everybody. We have JCS and Astrobate in the chat. Just getting warmed up. Thinking positive thoughts as we start this Wednesday weird opening stream where we're going to be playing 5+3 through 7+3. Our usual time control. You can challenge me to anything between 5+3 and 7+3, 5+3, 5+5, 5+4, whatever, to a maximum of 7+3. I don't want to play longer than 7+3 games. They tend to go more than 15 minutes. It's a little bit too much. So 7+3 is rapid, 5+3 is blitz. One of those two time controls are the main choices. Nicola Chess, also from Hungary, challenged me to 5-0. But I'm not going to accept his challenge because he's challenging me 5+0. And if I take the 5+0 challenge, then everybody starts challenging me to 5+0. So we have to set the right example here. I would like to play with Nicola Chess. Can I challenge him? We'll challenge him, all right? How about 5+3? He might not be watching the stream, so if I challenge him, we can do it that way, all right? Nicola Chess, how about 5+3? Not 5+0. I'll re-challenge him back. That's what tends to happen. If I make one exception, like 5-0, then everybody thinks that's the time control. All right. He accepted. Because I have no idea if he's watching the stream. I actually know this guy. He's a Hungarian chess amateur. I haven't seen in a long time, but he watched the stream occasionally. So, supposed to be playing weird openings. I forgot, as usual. That's a problem because it's very hard to get a weird opening now. I've played the most principled continuation. But maybe there's still hope here. Maybe there's still hope. We'll try something unusual at this point on move 3. Very early queen c2. This is not really a weird opening, but it's the closest I can get. Without playing something utterly unsound, like just sacrificing my e-pawn for nothing. Alright, queen c2. Theoretical novelty? Probably not. Kind of a warm-up game, guys. I didn't have time to play a warm-up game. So, let's try to be as aggressive as possible and creative here. I really don't want it. I don't want the game to just like transpose to something totally standard. That's my only problem. We'll try to castle queenside. Not an unheard of idea in the Queen's Gambit, and typically played when white doesn't exchange on d5 and the pawn structure is sort of stabilized. But I thought if we get the opportunity to castle queenside, we'll try to play aggressively. Welcome to the stream, guys. Bishop e4 check. It's going to transpose directly to a classical Nimzo when I play knight c3. So, I guess we can consider knight d2. Knight c3. Let's try knight d2, something different. Bishop takes d2 check. Queen takes d2, knight e4. Bishop takes d8, knight takes d2, bishop takes c7. Interesting. Wow, that's nice board vision there. Probably I should just take on d2 and play a slightly better endgame here. Knight takes d2, bishop takes c7, knight takes c4. I feel a little more comfortable with this. Very slight advantage for white. This exchange helps his bishop, of course. He seems really good for 1400. He saw that knight e4 simplification. I have noticed this with this opponent. He's playing really well for his rating against me. He has lost his games, but all of them are tough. I don't think he ever rolled over and died. You know, normally when I play 1400s in like a hourly blitz tournament or something, there's like very short games, less than 20 moves, black or the opponent hangs a piece. Nicola Chess doesn't seem to do that. Very principled play. I'm not going to put my knight on f3. If f6 after that, it's very hard to do anything. This looks more interesting. Now my e3 pawn, bit backward in the center. He's playing great. He's playing perfectly, I would say. Although white has slightly better opening and slightly better endgame, his position is perfectly reasonable. I wouldn't want to be black against like Keith Arkle. Any kind of endgame grinder, grandmaster, or just general endgame grinder is gonna love this position for white. Torturous advantage, but probably defensible for black. You're going for a lot of space here. h6, actually very strong move. Subtly putting his pawns on the right color. Kind of an advanced move for someone who's 1430 on lichess. Although he was probably just trying to stop g5. I think it's important. He has too many pawns on the white squares as it is, because he has a white square bishop. Failure to control dark squares. So h6, it may just be a primitive attempt to discourage g5, but actually, if he could put his pawns on g5 and h6, that would be the best. I'm not sure he's aware necessarily of the color complex implications, but he's going for it. Preemptively playing rook h2, I'm like basically reading his mind here. I've seen this a lot though. More and more in the opening stage of the game, I'll play people who are 1500, 1400, 1600, 1700, in that range where it should be a huge advantage to me. I should beat them easily. They play the opening stage extremely well, many times. It didn't used to be that way. You know, people have improved immensely in this stage of the game. This is unfortunately a tactical mistake. That is... He forgot probably I could take on h7. He was hoping, it was like hope chess. I play h takes g, he plays knight takes g5, and then he has this kind of awkward threat against my f3 pawn. That would be hard for white to defend, but you've got to consider all of the opponent's moves, not just what you hope he would play, you know. So he lost it. No hat for Ponda. He has his pajamas on. He needs a hat. Scarf and hat. He could be like a snowman. He'll look like a Ponda snowman. That's it. You can't stop the pawn. Alright, so good opening, but Nicola just melted down. Nikola Tesla. Alright, guys. Let's get some challenges. Weird openings. I kind of forgot the weird openings there. We made an attempt with Queen c2 on move 3. But this should probably just transpose. Curious if anyone's played this. Yeah. A few people have played this move. Only 4, interestingly. The computer likes d takes c4. And oddly, like, none of the people who were black played that. This is a move that's going to appeal to people who played the Queen's Gambit Accepted. This actually becomes a Queen's Gambit Accepted, where the queen is slightly misplaced at c2. So it makes sense. That should be black's best move. No problem at all. Another Hungarian. Where are the five pandas? Pondas. That's half the joke with Ponda, by the way. Well, I created Ponda was because, first of all, you know, he's black and white. Secondly, it sounds like pawn. And thirdly, Hungarian pronunciation of panda, when we say panda in English, I have to get used to saying that, is panda in Hungarian, you know. So basically my whole idea of coming up with panda as a concept sort of comes from the Hungarian pronunciation of panda. It sounds like panda, get it? Very deep. Panda has a dark side. Come to the dark side. Panda drinks, he drinks for evil. Alright, guys, anyway. Bamboo alcohol. I think we had a discussion of that. Does that exist? Anyway, let's get some challenges. 5+3 through 7+3. I'll go find another victim. We're playing weird openings. Don't let me forget. Streaming for 2.5 hours. Is the camera still... Camera's frozen. The Panda Cam kind of freezes a lot. But it's not like he's moving. It's not like a video game or something, like a shooter game. We don't need like a high resolution camera for Panda. He's not making a lot of movements. Probably have to have my drivers updated for that one. Okay, let's get the stream started. Early morning here. Budapest, Hungary. Not early morning anymore. It's 11. I'm streaming an hour later. I'm waiting on the decision. Waiting for a decision on... Okay, yeah. We got a decision in for the Thursday-Friday schedule. So, Thursday is on Friday. The new... Now Thursday's on Friday and Friday's on Thursday. We're going to do our subscriber stream on Friday night instead of Thursday night. And it's a slight adjustment I've done before, occasionally, because of scheduling. So I don't want to cheat anybody out of a stream. We're going to stream the Friday morning stream tomorrow and the Thursday night stream Friday night. So we're basically going to reverse Thursday and Friday. Very important, if you guys submit a game for the subscriber stream, it's going to be Friday night, not Thursday this week. So as I sort of check my schedule here, we make a note that 6:30 Friday night is the normal subscriber stream, and Thursday morning, 11 a.m. tomorrow is our Friday Blitz stream. Okay. Occasionally we have to kind of tweak the schedule due to personal obligations. Sorry for that, guys. But hopefully we'll remember. So, I've got a challenge. Bigu Basu, if you can re-challenge me to 5+3 through 7+3, I will accept your challenge. Thursday is on Friday. Thursday subscriber stream. I'll send a message for that to remind everybody. That's the easiest way to do it. We will send a message to the subscribers. They're the ones that matter, especially for Thursday stream. Okay. I declined Basu's challenge. Guys, 5+3 through 7+3. You can see it here at the bottom of the screen. Very clear. Those are the challenges I'm accepting. 5-3 through 7-3 casual. Basically, I'm curious, when I played this game against Nikola Chess there, did he do the right thing? Bishop b4 check here. I should take with the bishop according to the computer. It's a close call. Actually, it likes both moves. Enterprising. White's slightly better in this endgame. Alright. Bigu Basu. I didn't have any subscriber challenges. Berenson just showed up like the minute after I accepted a challenge here. We'll play Berenson next. Man, I bit the side of my mouth really bad last night. You guys ever do that? I was eating something. Hurts like unbelievably. E4. Weird opening stream. All right. I mean, I don't know. We're going to start it out with... We should start it out with something a little more extreme. The St. George. Coffee Mister. The decision just came in from the central office. We are switching Friday and Thursday stream this week. I am going to send a message to the subscribers. So if you have an interesting Friday evening planned, cancel it. C4. I have faced this before. I mean, I think taking on C4 kind of helps him, right? I mean, it basically encourages White's development. I've played that in the past, but looking at this position realistically, I should play Bishop B7 here. You bite your stuff, yeah. I bit the side of my mouth. Hurts. All right. So, putting pressure on E4, it's like an English defense, except it's not. It's the A6. The best line against A6, I think, is D4, B5, and Bishop D3, followed by Queen E2. And I would play the same setup with White against the Owens defense. Astorbate's favorite. Queen C2, and let's think about what that means. Weakening D4 a bit. E5 becomes an interesting possibility. A really weird England gambit. But I mean, I have serious doubts as to whether that's actually sound. I mean, like E5, pawn takes pawn, knight C6, knight F3. I don't quite believe it. So let's try to stay within the realm of relative sanity here. I have never really thought too hard about this position. Taking on C4, bishop takes. Still, it's coming out with tempo. I don't really like that. Knight F6 runs into pawn advances, making advances at my ponda. Exactly, Mr. Coffee. We're just going to switch around the Wednesday. We are going to switch around the Thursday and Friday streams for this week only. Man, I don't know what to do here. E5 is just coffee house. E6 is a full-on pawn sack. And it's worth considering playing it Benko style, I guess. Whatever. It is what it is. We're sacking a ponda. I mean, I've played crazier stuff. Like, it reminds me of the classical Nimzo. D4, knight F6, C4, E6, knight C3, bishop B4, queen C2. In that line, I've played B5 against classical Nimzo. Just sacrificing a pawn. It's something that was played by the Latvian Vitalinch. Kind of insane, dubious pawn sack. But if White gets carried away, taking too much stuff, he can easily lose the initiative. I prefer to give rather than get gifts. Don't ask me about Christmas presents, though. Alright, he did not keep taking. The gift that keeps on giving. The generous opponent. I guess we're kind of limited here as to what we can do. Sensible decision by White to play knight c3 there. What do we know about this opponent, by the way? He's 2019. He likes that. 2019. 2019. New account. 1700 in bullet, though. Bishop b4 doesn't strike me as all that great. I'm feeling like a complete lack of counterplay here. I guess we have to play bishop b4. It's sort of a stupid question. Those bishops are lined up that they could get skewered by queen b3. Something to think about. Be careful about that. So, Mr. Coffee, exactly. We're going to do 11 a.m. Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Friday. That'll be our subscriber stream. Tomorrow is Fast Blitz, what we would normally do on Friday. Thanks, guys, for watching and joining the stream. International Master William Paschall. We're playing weird openings. This was a St. George defense. Honing our creative skills here. All right, so taking the pawn is the obvious move. What's his next, by the way? And then I have time for like c5 maybe. 92 c5, anything to like break his center. This is a typical developing move. I'm not really concerned as much about that. Perhaps I should be, but I mean e5 actually drops the g2 pawn. I'm not sure if he's really threatening anything at all. Try to get dynamic. e5, bishop takes, g2. So, I don't think e5 is a threat. What we want to do is develop as quickly as possible. If d takes c, knight a6. Nimzo. Nimzo style. We try to outstrip him in development, kill him in his bed. Like a ninja. I'm very ninja-like when I play the St. George. We have a good score with this opening. Haven't played it in years, though. Had to be in a special mood to play the St. George. Very creative and confident. I have played it in tournament games, and I think I'm like 3 out of 4. I don't think I ever had a draw playing it. Something like 3 wins and a loss. Surprisingly, no draws. So, Mr. Coffee, your lone wolf opponent dropped a piece, move 13, resign, move later. Well, that counts, right? A game is a game. Where's our opponent? This basically turned into one of these Vida Lynch style Nimzos. We should play that sometime, but there's no guarantee people are going to play the classical variation of the Nimzo. The Nimzo is a little too positional for Weird Wednesday. Alright, guys. I think our opponent is having a very deep think, or he went to answer the door. 1h4. Yeah, I mean, 1h4 is sort of a thematic opening for the Ponda, but it's not really an opening. It's a little bit too much. It's special in our hearts here, but it's... What now? He manages to find a way to kind of keep the tension here. I guess I have c4. c4 would cast doubt. c4, he has to move the bishop, then bishop takes e4, bishop takes f6, bishop takes c2, bishop takes, am I saying it right? c4, bishop e2, bishop takes e4, bishop takes f6, bishop takes c2, bishop takes d8, king takes d8. That's good. Reminds me a little bit of last game. I guess he can play e5. Actually, that loses a piece, doesn't it? Looks like he's losing his central pawn here. St. George is fun. Actually, you know what I was reading? I have an old Nimzo book here. I'll show you. This is one of the original Nimzo Indian, maybe like one of the first really good Nimzo Indian book. Play the Nimzo Indian Defense by Svetozar Gligorich. That's a good author, you know. This isn't fly by night snake oil salesman. I mean, that's when they made real chess books. But anyway, it's funny because in the back there's like this, wait, am I hallucinating? In the front there's other titles in the series. Bassman M, Play the St. George. I actually don't think I ever ran across a copy of that. I totally forgot that Bassman actually wrote a credible book on this opening. I knew there were like pamphlets and weird stuff like that. But Pergamon Press was like the premier publisher of chess books. You know, I completely spaced on the fact that they actually published a real book on this opening. All right. Well, this is a good heads-up move by white. Now material's even. Queen f4 is pretty annoying, actually. Man, I don't know what to do here. I want to save both my bishops. Go with the instinct. I don't know. I guess we'll do what we have to do. We'll save both our bishops somehow. Makes sense, right? Queen b6. It's a standard sort of semi-Slav type setup. A3 was pretty reserved. Not like he had any magic bullet there, but I was expecting something more aggressive. Black should be better here. I mean, maybe I just have to play d5 at some point. And try to avoid it. Keeping my bishop on b7 open. There's some advantage in that, obviously. d5 creates a French type structure, which I'm not quite as thrilled about. But we're basically doing well. We're just up a pawn here. Up a ponda. The game, it started at 7-3, but it's generating into a blitz game. Blitz game degeneration. I'm partial to fianchettos. His bullet rating is his lowest rating. It's interesting. No. No, not today. Wow. I'm kind of doubting his bullet rating being his lowest rating statistic. Are you? You find yourselves doubting that? I'm in serious doubt of that. What? Wait. This game took ages. He has these weird moments of thinking. We're up a rook now. Actually, we're only up the exchange. Feels like I'm up a rook. That's weird. I was convinced I was up a rook. Well, I'm going to be up a rook. That's why. Alright, that was fun. Good morning, everybody. 11 o'clock here in Europe. I'm streaming from Hungary. Let's get some challenges. 5-3 through 7-3. Welcoming challenges. Asterbate, what about you? Berenson was challenging. Now he's gone, though. Berenson, what's up? Where did you disappear to? Monthly badges. Badgers. I'll look into it. Badger badges. Higa and Berenson. Well, I'm threatening bishop takes f3. I'm threatening g5, I guess, winning a piece. It's pretty hard to meet that. No, he's getting mated. Like losing everything on the move with rook h2 check. King f1. He's basically in Zugzwang. He's got to lose material. This is a pretty huge threat of g5. There's also rook h2 check. So between those two threats, he can't like run away with king f1. King f1, rook h1 check, knight g1, bishop g2 check. He just started losing all of his pieces. And bishop takes f3 in some moments. If his queen tries to run away, you know, or if he takes this pawn, then he just like loses immediately. Rook h2 check, king f1. It's actually this line again, like check, knight g1. This is cute though. I didn't see this until now. I didn't realize I had this rook sack in mate. I was more concerned about being able to move fast enough than calculating actual variations. Okay, so Berenson, Badger badges, and more emotes. Alright, we'll look into it. Huga and Berenson, thanks for subscribing. Badger Ponda. It's like a Cub Scout group. The Sludgy Chess Cub Scouts. Alright. But I understand what's important. We need a Ponda emote. Yeah, we should have more emotes. I wrote that down. Well, for the first time, I can almost actually think about improving the stream. Pretty distracted in the past, but I'm getting my life back. It's nice to get your life back under your own control. We had a major setback yesterday. My son's laptop just died. I just bought a laptop like 6 months ago. Huge financial disaster. It's like fried. I'm going to have to get it back to the United States somehow. Because I bought it over there. It's such a pain. I don't know how I'm going to return it. It's still under warranty, but it must cost like hundreds of dollars to ship something back to the United States. I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, like a package the size of a laptop is probably like $200 to send it with like UPS or something. Maybe it's not that bad. We'll have to look into it. Anybody send packages? Large packages? Overseas? I never really do that anymore. We can't have packages delivered here. Because like the Hungarian Post just like hides them and they disappear. But I think I can probably safely send something the other direction. Alright. Castles E6. I used to be able to get packages, but at some point they started like disappearing. I think they're really paranoid about people trying to evade taxes and stuff like that, so they sort of quarantine every package and stuff until it's like inspected. I've had actually packages like go completely MIA. It costs you $80 to send a case to Sweden. That's not bad. $80. I mean, dude, it could cost you. I mean, I was selling a lot of stuff on eBay. I mean, it could easily cost you that much, like probably within the United States, certain locations. I imagine to California or something if it's a large item. So I have to return this laptop. I think it was like a power surge or something. I don't know. We had a surge protector. Never had that happen, but it looks like it's like burned inside. But it's probably like a defective. Something was probably defective with the laptop itself. I mean, it's only like 6 months old. I don't know. Pretty disappointing. This move may be a serious mistake. No, it looks okay. I don't like my knight over here on h3 this long. Berenson, what did you play yesterday? I forgot to play Weird Opening this game. Man, what's going on with me? Well, there's really like only I didn't see it myself. I took it to a service place and they said it was like looks like it had been kind of burned, but there's nothing has gone inside. You know, it was not like there was like a drink spilled on it or something. I guess like the hard drive is fried or something. Um, motherboard. So my knight on h3 is pretty sick. I played a normal opening, guys. I feel like restarting the game. We're supposed to play. Basically, I took it into the service and I thought it would just be like the battery was defective. It just wouldn't turn on. Hungary's electrical grid. We can ask a local resident. We can ask, no problem at all. He's here. I'm just a little bit worried because I've never lost a laptop to a surge or something like that in all the years that I've been here. It was plugged into a surge protector, but it's like a Chinese one. You know, I don't know. I don't know how well these like cheap surge protectors actually work. But I've never lost a machine to something like that. In, you know, living here for 15 years. I have the feeling it's something just defective. There was something defective with the machine. It was like an Asus. What is a brownout? WJ Loof. I'm not up to date on the terminology. It's similar to a blackout, but a brownout. What's happening after F3? Does anybody know? That's fine and good, but I'm not going to take an E5 and let you... Actually, I could take an E5. I have bishop D4. So you have two good choices here. Downloading illegal goulash? No. He doesn't download stuff. He's good. What am I doing? Knight F4. Maybe bishop A3 as well. I'm just still in a state of shock. I'm still paying for this laptop. And it's like dead. They offered to fix it, but the guy at the service was like, you might as well buy a new laptop. It would cost so much to fix it. But I can get my money back from Best Buy. Or from Asus. Hopefully. Rook F7. What are we going to do? Centralized queen. It's kind of hard to diagnose problems online, tell you guys. I don't know exactly what it was. I don't think even the guy at the service is 100% sure. What's up, guys? We're playing 5+3 through 7+3. I was supposed to play a weird opening, forgot again. Weird openings badges. Subscriber stream is moved till Friday. And Thursday is Friday. So tomorrow we're going to be playing in the morning rather than the evening. Are you sure it wasn't the outlet? No. But it was on one of those surge protector type things. Alright, he resigned. It's a little early to resign. b6, you're still hanging on, right? Still a game. It's a bad position for black. Okay, weird openings. Huge. It's just weird when you like think that the computer has a minor problem, take it to the service and find out it's like, might as well just like throw it away. Not good. All right, here we go again. I keep getting tricked into playing normal openings. I've got one for you. The d5. The d5 Sicilian. Guys, welcome to the stream, International Master William Paschall. Our coffee is obviously not effective enough, Mr. Coffee. We need some more coffee. I had my coffee earlier, but it seems to have worn off or something. I can't remember to play weird openings. Huga is new to the stream. Played in a simul on Sunday. Beat me in a nice game. And he lost last game. So the critical line here is actually bishop b5. Bishop b5, d takes e4, knight takes c6, queen takes d1, check, king takes d1, bishop d7. Does that make sense? I think I'm making a mistake, okay? The variation should be bishop b5, d takes e4, knight takes c6, queen takes d1, check, king takes d1, a6. And then on bishop a4, we play bishop d7, pinning his knight to his bishop on a4. And it's playable for black. This, however, should allow black reasonable counterplay. I mean, what does white do now? Knight b5, I have queen e5 check. Knight b5, queen e5 check. That would give him two options. Instead, he played the quiet move. Knight takes c6. All right, so clearly after queen takes d1, king takes d1, b takes c6, we have an equal-ish position where I have a worse structure, but his king is stuck in the center. That would be playable for both sides, I assume. And then we have two other options. Queen takes c6, just maintaining the better structure, keeping the queens on the board. I mean, he's going to play like knight c3, a6. How does he develop his king side without dropping the g2 pawn? The other possibility is b takes c. Then on knight c3, all right, I guess I have to do this. I don't have to, but I prefer this structurally. Physically stopping bishop b5. White's a little better here developmentally, but I didn't really see a good way for him to like sack this pawn on g2. That's really convincing. Bishop d3, queen takes g2, bishop e4, queen h3. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he can do that. Although bishop d3, yeah, he could play bishop d3, queen takes g2, bishop f3, queen h3, and then like knight d5 with the very incisive threat of knight c7 check and knight b6. That's similar to bishop e2, queen takes. Instead, he played bishop f4. Certainly looks like a reasonable move. I could play e5 for quick development, but it doesn't look like much. What are we going to do? Never played this position in my life. Bishop f5, I presume. There's also bishop e6, which would stop knight d5, but be very awkward for me to develop the rest of my pieces after that. Knight f6, routine move. He's continuing with bishop e2 or bishop d3, I think. So this is a tough one. If bishop f5, bishop e2, queen takes g2, bishop f3, I don't really like this anymore, mommy. b5, like d5 is coming. We do have in-between moves, though, like bishop f5, bishop e2, rook d8. Bishop f5, bishop e2, rook d8 actually looks pretty strong. So he's going to need another move here. Bishop e2, rook d8 is okay. He can play queen c1, like our last opponent, then I would have queen takes g2. So that's strong for black. Knight d5 right away allows rook c8, which seems okay for black. You're out too. Okay, we'll see you at the office. Guys, weird opening stream. Except no substitutes. Queen d5, positional answer. No nonsense. Good move. I love this variation, acerbate. Queen takes d5, knight takes d5, castles queenside, knight b6 mate. Find the helpmate and you know you're a good player. So now I'm like forced to do this. Oh, this is ugly. Pretty ugly. Welcome to the stream, guys. Challenge me to blitz and rapid chess 5+3 through 7+3 casual, taking subscriber and challenges from new players as well. This was a d5 Sicilian. Looks like it's worked out pretty well for white. It's got a good structure. The c6 pawn is not what I was hoping for. Okay, so now we have to be very careful about knight a4. Knight a4, knight f6, knight b6. The white... I don't like this. Knight a4 is strong. He might have other strong moves. I don't want to wait around to find out. I'm curious what I did wrong, though. I mean, knight takes c6, it looks like a really lame way for white to play in the initial stage of the opening. After d5, I must have made a serious mistake. This looks harmless. E takes d5, queen d5, knight c6. I mean, maybe this is really like necessary for me to do one of these committal things like take on d1 check. I didn't really want to do that. De Buenos suggested h4. I'm not sure at what point you meant that. h4. It's a little bit irrelevant at this point. I don't like this move a lot for white. I guess it's not terrible. But I have knight d5, don't I? Bishop takes, pawn takes, knight takes. I don't think you can sack a piece. It's the ultimate knight. Well, he can sack a piece. I don't know if it's good or does anything. If he has to take it, then I'm fine. If he can't sacrifice a piece to open the position, attack my king in the center or something. I don't imagine how that's going to work. Maybe he can try it. I seriously don't think so. What is he going to do? Like, now bishop e4 should really like equalize. Maybe not. I guess bishop e4 isn't good enough. We need a different plan. Bishop e4 would have walked into good old knight a4 again. Try to cause some confusion instead. Probably I should castle as well, though I can consider king e7. Maybe h5 is a consideration. This move wasn't really necessary. Bishop d3 is a really strong move. Really, really nice move by my opponent. Trading off the bishop pair. He had an alternative to taking. He could have taken the 7th rank with his rook. But objectively, I think his move was better. Now he really has a solid position. No serious weaknesses. No, I'm not sure about g4. Structurally, I don't really like that move. His last. Now black is a tiny bit better. Okay, it's not much, admittedly. This was just a mouse slip. Man. Painful mouse slip there. I'm lucky I'm not like losing. I was virtually losing before. I also had bishop d4 there. Okay, so he just started to panic in time pressure. Terrible end game by both of us. A lot of mistakes in the second stage of the game. I mean, basically he should have just been better once he traded. And I made the mouse slip especially. Okay, Vahag 1001. It was a good game to start with. It was interesting, the opening, actually. I think that we played terrible in time pressure. Terribly. So, weird opening stream. Let's play the Dutch. For me, this is a weird opening. For many people, the Dutch is a totally standard opening. But I never play the Dutch. I never play f4 in a tournament game. I've never played the Birds opening. Maybe by transposition, like b3, f4, once or twice. I don't think I ever played f4. I've definitely not played the Dutch in a tournament game. I was really close to playing it at one point. I think the more you play, the better you'll get at handling time pressure. I'm really good at the pressure. It doesn't mean I always play well, but I don't become inwardly nervous. I find this the case with a lot of people. They're outwardly nervous, but they're not nervous on the inside. It seems like some people deal with stress in different ways. Bog here playing super fast. Bishop f4. Honestly, a really strange... For me, a bit of a strange setup, particularly for the Leningrad. Welcome guys to our strange and weird opening stream. It seems weird that you would put the bishop on f4 against any kind of Dutch, because you're just asking for pawn advances like h6 and g5. I guess certain people just play the same formation against anything. I'm certainly very reticent to go for that with white. I don't know who this player is. He's from Armenia, around 1800. No bullet games. Well, he's got bullet games, but his rating in bullet is lower. He's just kind of going for a setup. This is actually not a bad setup against the King's Indian. I feel like against the Dutch, it's a little bit less good. I mean, okay, knight takes d4 now. Knight takes d4, knight takes d4, e5 would probably be okay for black. But knight takes d4, queen takes d4, e5. Knight takes e5, pawn takes e5, queen takes e5, check. Probably wins a pawn for white. So we can't do that just yet. The idea is d5, e5 to reach a kind of King's Indian. De Buenos, oh, that's Big Ubosu. Yeah, thank you for the game. That was a fun game. Okay, now there's no e5. No tricks with knight takes d4. As I said, I think this is played typically against the King's Indian. It is like a King's Indian. I mean, the Leningrad Dutch and the King's Indian are basically almost the same opening. e6 is interesting. Slow, but you can play e5 in slow motion, hopefully. The main point would be to give the e7 square to my pieces. I can creep up with the queen and play e5 in 2 moves. But it's not the most dynamic move, I guess. Probably I should just castle without even thinking about it. I'm a little paranoid about like g4, but that shouldn't be sound. Too radical. You know, okay, in a bullet game you can do crazy things. Probably castles should have been played. Wow, speaking of radical, okay, c5 right away. It looks early, maybe well-founded positionally, trying to carve control of this diagonal. If I took on c5, he would continue with one of several moves, actually. The position is kind of weird. I mean, I don't know if he's going to play this. He can't do that too early because of queen a5 check and knight e4. Solid positional basis to white setup, and e6 is looking kind of suspicious now. I think the move was too slow. if knight b5, we have knight e8 if necessary. He's gone the other way, but wow. Pretty extreme. That takes away queen a5 check. So he has d5 now. Although d5, e5, pawn takes c6, pawn takes f4. I think his position is starting to look dubious. Like a premature action, the knight g5. Although he could sack it, right? He can play like h6, h4. Maybe that's his intention. We'll go this way. Try to play the hippo. Yeah, the hippo is a thing. I normally play the hippo by playing the English defense. d4, e6, c4, b6, a3. That was ironically my greatest single tournament win, was playing the black side of the hippo against Alexander Onishuk. I beat him in a US Open where I never castled. There was a crazy game where we were like blundering rooks and time scramble. Well, it's not really a fork. Like DE, bishop h2, h6. My concern is that he might have h4. Okay, maybe bishop g3. Probably this is incorrect for white. He might have bishop, some sort of h4. When I try to play h6, he cannot move the knight and sacrifice the piece on g5 to open up the h file. Then I get mated or just undergo some sort of devastating, try to withstand some sort of devastating attack by white, but maybe it's not sound. Like he just take bishop h2, h6, h4, take it, h to hg and knight h5, and maybe I'm just up a piece. I mean, all I have to do is play bishop e6 next and move my king back to g8, and he's just lost. Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably true. Knight g5 was a bad move by him. I mean, I think he had a good game, actually. Even queen b3 is probably okay. But now it's all shifted the other way. I mean, the knight is just off sides here. So h6. Not so simple, though. It's not a simple fork. There's another issue, like h6, knight f3, e4, knight h4. I have to play king h7. If e4 right away, bishop e2, h6, h4, h takes g, and he's got tricks there. Obviously, we have lots of good moves here. Knight h5. This is like a simple solution. Uh-oh, maybe not. Yeah, it's not so easy. I can't really win a piece. I'm just going to play e4 and king h7 and just leave his knight horrendously placed. Well, this is different, but this is a clear piece up. Tit for tat. That's funny. Yikes. I'm actually losing too many pieces here. Knight g6 check. Whoa. Oh my god. What's going on? Miscalculated. I'm still up a piece. This was not good. Oh my goodness. He has a lot of pawns. Bishop e7. He missed another strong move. Man, I'm half asleep. Now he has king d1. Castle's no good. King e2. Well, yeah, I mean, he should try something like king e2, knight c2, rook c1 with compensation. Maybe my knight is trapped there. Actually, rook h8. Now my knight's trapped. Man, this is just super awkward. Man. I can't believe this. He's got a way out of this, too. I'm going to have two pieces for a rook in a very messy situation. He missed bishop takes e4 and then bishop e7. Terrible. Terrible mess tactically. That's not a good decision. Should just trade on f6 probably. Now we have excellent chances to win. Could have sacked his piece there, but I don't think so. I can't wait till this game is in the past. Not a good game by me. He missed tons of opportunities. Guys, I'm moving the Thursday stream to Friday, so we're doing our subscriber stream on Friday. I'm going to send a message to all our subscribers about it, so you guys know. Friday is Thursday, and Thursday is Friday this week. All right, so there's a request for a hippo. I would start with d4, e6, play b6. Of course, if my opponent doesn't play c4, d4, it doesn't occupy the center, we have no problems. I mean, this is not a critical test to the hippo, obviously. The hippo is basically both knights in the center on e7, d7, bishops being ketoed. But I'm going to castle here. I mean, I just don't really see a reason not to. Typically in the hippo way, we might have a more aggressive formation. Castling may be committal. You might want to delay castling. h6, typical move, keep him off of knight g5. And now we're just transferring to a Dutch. I just didn't want a knight on g5. That would be devastating. Very difficult to defend that point. It's actually kind of similar to last game, in a way. But Hiroku playing a very solid setup. I wonder. He's threatening e4 in this position. You know, I don't think I should allow that. We have to make a decision. You have to give squares to get squares. A good player once said that. Giving this square a little bit to get this square. I want to keep him under control, not letting him play e4, but there are disadvantages to this. I think we need some oxygen. I'm going to open the window. Maybe that's why I'm playing so bad. Window is up. Now b4. Yeah, normal move. I thought he could play c5 without even b4, frankly. Thanks everybody for joining me for my stream. The hippo. A6. The full hippo formation. Alright, now I wanted to play queen e8 at some point, so as not to allow knight b5. It's kind of the same thing as not allowing knight g5 on the other side. Space is overrated, JCS. It doesn't matter how big you are, it's what you can do with what you've got. It's kind of like boxing or something. I mean, bigger fighters aren't necessarily more effective. It's how efficient you are with what you've got. Actually, I find that using a space advantage is very difficult, and I say this religiously, but it's very true. I mean, especially in blitz, it's very hard to play space advantage positions. I mean, certain people are like specialists at it. I have a friend who's very, very good at space advantage type of game. His entire game is basically, this particular player I'm referring to, he's a very positional player whose entire game is basically built around space advantages. I mean, some people can adapt their entire style to it, you know, but I think that most players actually handle space really poorly. You have to almost specialize in it to be good at it. But there are players who are specialists. And against those players, you don't want to go there. You know, you don't want to give them a space advantage. So now bishop d3, white fighting back against e4. I can play g5. Sort of kind of makes sense to play g5, except that it drops a pawn. Okay, well, the oxygen is coming in. I thought about that for like 25 seconds and didn't realize I was hanging a pawn here, but it's a sack. We'll just call it a pawn sacrifice. This is not good. Alright, obviously I had to take on c3 last move. I'm just hallucinated. But what's the best way to defend this position down a pawn? I didn't really want to trade my white square bishop. This is really bad for black. We're down a pawn for very little, almost nothing. But because white has extended himself so far, you know, I mean, that's the thing. You know, there are a lot of weak points if you can get inside the soft underbelly of white's position here. The A file, for example, is already a source of counterplay for black. Of course, I have my weaknesses inside my side of the board as well, like queen b7. This is not that simple. I think that black has a little bit of compensation here based on white being a tiny bit overextended. This is a good practical mistake, so I can try to save this dubious pawn down position. We've got an invasion along the A file threatened. Also some pressure with the F file. I don't know that I have a definite threat on the F file. He just pulled away, so I can play G4. I mean, now he's flirting with danger. He's going to have to play knight H4. And now he's going to have to play G3. Now I actually think black is winning. Very lucky turn of events for our hero. A scenario where the knight is actually maybe stronger than the white bishop. Nils, we've got an hour left in the stream. Had you been a subscriber, you know, you would get first dibs, but there's only one player in the queue now. Your challenge is canceled. You were the first in the queue. Do you think we should believe him? Alright, man. There he is. You're right. You're back. He was telling the truth. I wasn't looking at the queue, though. I take your word for it. Knight F5. Black's just better now. Very lucky. But again, it illustrates the dangers of... Actually, I had a game last Sunday where this was kind of in play. My opponent was just a tiny bit overextended and up a pawn. I'm going to do a video about that today, ironically. Oxygen. I just dropped my e4 pawn for absolutely nothing. I thought it was covered. So, knight takes h4 is no good. h5. Queen h5 also looks pretty strong. King h7 is interesting. Maybe even king h8, ironically. Either there is something there or there isn't. There's no in between. This is probably not my best option. Damn. Continuing to play bad moves. Okay, so he has defense here. I mean, the thing about king h7 was that he would just play like queen d3 or something. This is not the best move. He has to play king h1 there. It's too late. You just made it. But king h1 would have enabled defense. So I don't think even queen h5 was good. It's like my second mistake. First I hang my e4 pawn, then I play queen h5 here. Computer agrees with king h7, but my problem with it was queen d3, pinning my knight. I mean, I guess I'll have to play, what am I going to do? Queen g6? I don't want to trade queens. The honest truth is that I may not be winning. You know, the computer is kind of like clear advantage to black, but it's not enough to win by force. We have to incorporate some threats down the A file. But this was terrible. I just hung my E4 pawn. I mean, right here, G5. Obviously, I have to trade knights. Position is okay, but it's more or less balanced. All right, pay attention. Do not hang your central pawn. Let's go. Nils weird openings. No Nimzo for you. What can we do to confuse the indefatigable MILFs? C5. Benko. We're trying for a Benko. Let's try the Franco Benoni. He'll just transpose. Nils is that kind of guy. He'll just like transpose to a normal Benoni if I play the Franco Benoni. I gotta play E5. If I played E6, I was hoping he would play E4, but there's no guarantee. And if he plays like C4, we're just gonna end up in a normal Benoni. I don't know. Did I try the snake Benoni? Oh, that's a good suggestion for Uber Driver. But we did the Dutch. We actually basically played 2 Dutch positions today. So, good suggestion, though. The Clarendon Court, I think it's like Jonathan Levitt, the British IM, who specialized in the Clarendon Court. That was played against me by this really sleazy player who I will not, he will remain nameless. I do not like to badmouth individuals on the stream. D4, C5, D5, F5. Ironically, I think it was only played against me once. I did win. He's sorry now that he did that. Sleazy master. Man, is this even correct? Bishop G5. The head of the pawn chain. Nimzovich would be proud of you, Nils. Just kidding. Sarcasm in full effect. Alright, so unique position. Black's a little behind development. Hopefully, that's not going to matter because the position is so closed. That's what we're banking on. The closed nature of the position offsets the fact that white has 2 pieces developed to my 1. Now, there are discoveries. I'd like to play knight, like, E7, maybe? But there's weird stuff going on with knight E6. Knight H6. I mean, is that for real? Knight H6? Maybe I ought to just hold off on this. I mean, Nils has played some dynamic games before. I don't want to see Bishop B5 check. King F8. Don't particularly want to do that unless I have to, Uber Driver, but I know Yasser likes that type of thing in the modern. Yeah, no, it's totally an idea in some of these lines, absolutely, to go Bishop B5. And now I rob myself the ability to play Knight A6. But that's okay. The important thing is that we focus on the important things. What's the important thing here? Wow, there's some cool lines. Some cool lines. I think white's slightly better here. He's going to have to dig deep to endure the control of black on E5. Right, exactly. Nils is a good dynamic player when he needs to be. He's played some cool games. If he could play some sort of e5 pawn sacrifice, he would do it. He's done that kind of thing against me before in similar situations. Here he's just straight up developing. That feels good. To get the knight out and into the e5 square. No, I just have one other knight to resolve, and we're more or less home free. If knight e7, see, he has these discoveries. I don't know, you'd call it a discovery with knight e6. Knight h6. The problem with knight h6 is like g3 and h4. I'm getting concerned about. Knight e7, knight e6. Knight f6, knight e6. Always this knight e6 thing messing with my whole position. He actually could have played that earlier. But he's too lazy to calculate. That's his big weakness. Actually, many of us share that weakness. Human nature. What's wrong with knight h6 again? Alright, what am I going to do here? This is a really weird move. Probably just patently bad, but give him something to think about. Which is my favorite chess player? I don't have a favorite chess player. I have a lot of kind of... I'm that way with everything. I don't like to have like one favorite. I like to have sort of many things, many favorites. A lot of the classics, but if I had to list like my favorite chess players, I could list maybe like 5, but they're all old school. I appreciate modern chess players. I don't really like Magnus Carlsen. He has a practical style that's not very interesting. I'm not talking about modern players, more players that influence me. Rubinstein, Alyakin, Karpov, probably. Who else? This is a weird move, but he has an open line here. It's not, I shouldn't say weird. It's not weird really in the Benoni. Though my teammate had a game where he annihilated a guy last week who like got his rook stuck on b3 in a Benoni. It was horribly placed there. I mean, a3 is okay. Just don't put it on b3, Nils. Sultan Khan. No, but Sultan Khan was okay, I guess. Not one of my favorite players. How many games does Sultan Khan have that are like recorded? Probably not too many. Nimzovich. h3. Now I can castle. Are you going to play g4? Maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe I won't castle. I mean, I'm not really scared of g4. I have such good control of g4 that he can't play h4. He would have to really prepare that extremely heavily. He wants to play g4, g5, that's okay. g4, h4, I just take it. Once again, we see another scenario where white Larsen would be another one. Okay, so like Nimzovich, Larsen, Alyakin, Rubinstein, Karpov. There's 5 players who I really... Kiris would be like 6. That's just off the top of my head. Petrosian is another great player. 7. He would definitely be in my top 10 favorite players. So I can come up with like a top 10 list probably. But I don't have a single favorite. Just wouldn't be fair to the others. Queen e1. I'm not quite sure what he's doing there on g3. It's some sort of cheapo. Feels like cheapo. Weird, very weird Benoni. Still, he's played well. And I think he's probably still better. Well, he's allowing b5 now. That may be his undoing. The undoing. Knight d3? He had knight d3 there. I was just kidding about that. I'm not really going to play c4. Zoning in. Back rank mate. Oof. He has that. Stunning reversal. A slightly risky move. I have the feeling Nils was better throughout much of this game. Safe to assume. At least we had a fun opening, though. Where do we lead book? So, alright. Right away, Nils goes into a totally unique position with 92. Virtually no games from this position. So what do you do? You know, I'm completely on my own now after 5 moves. Dvoretsky played this line against me with white. I knew the line that's like standard, which is like knight f3, bishop g4, something like that. Knight f3, bishop g4, bishop b5, check, king f8, like Uber Driver was talking about. It's my Dvoretsky blitz game. I think I played this, and he played king f8. And the computer says that white is better, but that's fine if you're a computer, you know. It's very easy for a computer to be playing for a win here, but space is not so easy for a human being to exploit. Learn 2-5. It was a tough game. Note to all of our subscribers, please support the stream, resubscribe. Actually, to everybody, resubscribe. What I wanted to say was our subscriber stream, which we usually hold on Thursdays, is Friday. So Friday night instead of Thursday night this week. Resub. What am I doing? Weird openings. I have to let you in first. I tried, man. Played as bad as I could. I couldn't play much worse. Sorry, guys. Had to fix something. A window. Antonio subscribed. He resubbed. Subscribed for 26 months. That's a good streak. We are playing... Alright, let's do this thing. I don't think that bishop takes f6 is objectively great. There was a game my friend David Vigorito had. I think it was the North American Open this winter. No, it was the National Open in Las Vegas. David played this with black against some strong Chinese grandmaster. I think it's nothing for white. Bishop takes f6. But anyway, it leads to a unique structure. It's basically like a Tartikover. Sorry, Trumpowski. Same thing. It's just a weird way to play the Trumpowski with the additional weakening move of b3. I don't think this is very good for white, but we're here to play weird openings today. This doesn't help me. The incorporation of the move b3. Weakening my dark squares around the queen side isn't really ideal. You know, it would be better to just play a straight up Trumpowski. But it is what it is. You know, we'll just pretend we're like black. You know, it's hard to play for a win with black. And this reminds me of... How do you play for a win with black against the guy who plays like knight f3? It's extremely hard. I play knight f3 myself. And some years ago, I had a game where I was trying to prepare for one of my opponents who plays knight f3. And I was like, man, you know, it's really hard against people who play solidly with white to find a way to play for a win. And here I think I made a mistake already. Probably I should think about knight e2 instead of knight f3. Man, this is just nothing for white. That's a risky move for black. However, I don't really like c5. It's not a terrible move, but I think it's changing the pawn structure, making this pawn... Okay, it's not that bad, but it's not necessary to play c5. I open the window, now I'm freezing. So if I start shivering, guys, you'll know what's happening. Not having like a... Who is this player? 2200 in blitz. Alright, let's get the rook. The rook off the long diagonal. Freezing. Freezing out here in Budapest. We had snow. I think I'm going to have to play c4. Bring his bishop to life. Not really what I want to do. But this position is so passive for white. b4. You could play b4. Mr. Coffee, what do you think? Mr. Coffee's not here anymore. He went to work. Bishop b5. Play with two knights against two bishops. My white squared bishop is my better piece. c4. If c4, it's very counterintuitive. Basically, black's played well, and I've used unnecessary amount of time here. All right, I'm going to close the window. Freezing. We got some oxygen, at least. So freezing is not, it's not worth it. Yeah, b4. I'm not interested. I'm interested in equalizing at this point. Now, I was talking about my friend's game. David played against some Chinese grandmaster, and he was clearly better after like 15 moves, after bishop takes f6. This is a really good way for black to play. Basically, this is never really a threat. But nothing else is dangerous either. It's a good way to play against b3. Andras Shadorian, Hungarian grandmaster, has a book I have, a collection of ideas against unorthodox openings. And Adorian, he really prefers e5. But this is fine too. So now, b4 may be better. It's hard to say. How about bishop b5 now? It's kind of a weird idea. Ironic. Purely playing for structure, forcing him to give way first here. If pawn takes pawn, knight c4. I don't know if it's really a move, but it's fun. Fun to fantasize about knight c4. Surprise! Actually have a nice weakness to attack there. I'm all about this. Structure. Knights must have outposts. Very important. Yeah, now I feel a little better about my position. I don't care that he has two bishops. Actually, two knights work better against two bishops than bishop and knight, in my experience. White is extremely solid here. Position is probably about equal. g4 not a good idea. We need to address centralizing my king. Also the back rank, of course. Black seems like a fairly strong player. 2191 and quick. I don't remember the previous game. I don't think it's that simple. I don't think that b4 is better than b3. I think b3 is okay, but bishop takes f6 is probably not a good line. I just wanted to try something kind of extreme. Rubinstein pawn endgame. This famous structure where Rubinstein won with black. It's a little different. f5 changes everything. In the famous pawn endgame, Rubinstein is actually a rook endgame. He got the king down to h3. Keep an eye out for that. But I evaluate this ending as approximately equal. Maybe I'm overvaluing black's bishop. I'm not sure. f4 is interesting. He's undoubling his pawns, but I could play e4. I wonder if e4 is a good move. That would allow him to play bishop d4. It's very hard to say. He's undoubling his pawns and my pawns at the same time, so who does that help more? Invader-tism is now hosting you for up to 6 viewers. Neat idea. Tism. Wow, this is going to get pretty sharp. We'll force him into an awkward situation with rook d8 check. Should give us enough counterplay if he tries to go after my h-pawn. I'm not sure what I would do with black here. He's got to decide going into the minor piece endgame or trying this risky continuation with rook h5. I haven't really calculated that far. Plays it conservatively. He's a better minor piece, but I have the better king. I mean, there's some question as to whether he really has a better minor piece here, but the pawns on both sides of the board, I think, are to his advantage. My king compensates to some degree. I don't want him to have an outside pass pawn. I see. See, said the blind man. What just happened? He allowed knight f8. Well, that's pretty smart. What am I doing? Impressive. Learn 2-5. Tushar, is that you? No, it's 2200 in bullet. That was quite a move there, honestly. The king e8. Played pretty quickly. Impressive. Now white is slightly worse. He got his king to the center. Maybe I'm not really worse. He's certainly not going to lose on time if he's like a 2200 bullet player. Probably a draw, objectively. My knight is good, but that's about it. He's got a lot of pawns on white squares. The other dark. Much harder to play black here. Probably almost threefold rep. He just lost on time. It's a draw. Just a dead draw. It's funny, I mean, despite the fact that he has 3 pawns on the wrong color, I also have isolated pawns. I mean, I have more space with my king, and he has 3 pawns in the wrong color. You'd think like white would have something. Well, no, I mean, you really want the pawns on white squares if you're black. The pawns control white and the bishop controls dark squares. It's surprisingly, a lot of beginners make that mistake, Morales. Like, they really think that it's better to have the pawns in this color, but it's sort of like, yeah, if you have no other choice, you can protect them, but in most cases, it's better the other way around. Credible center pawn loss for this game. But notice after the opening, I'm like significantly worse. And then he had 9 center pawn loss, and I had 10 center pawn loss. Of course, there were no tactics in this game for the most part. But whoever that is quite a strong player. I mean, it's not easy to play. With less than 10 center pawn loss, I'm impressed. So knight f3. What are we going to do? Knight c6. The Chigorin. Play the Chigorin. This is a good winning attempt. Weird openings. It's a good winning attempt against knight f3. That's what I was getting to, like, before. I was going to talk about how hard it is to play for a win against knight f3. Like, extremely difficult to play for a win. d6, knight c6, and like f5 and b5. f5 extremely risky. I just thought about all the weird moves you can play for the most part. All right, now c4, making it hard for me to play weird openings. We'll go for another Dutch experience. What makes you say that, Uber Driver, about Fischer and the King's Indian? I mean, Fischer basically... There was a quote, right, yesterday I saw in my tournament, or maybe it was somewhere else, about, like, the King's Indian, like, Botvinnik said that no one understood the King's Indian until Geller, basically. And all Fischer did, not that it was easy to do, but he basically studied all the Soviets, the Soviet masters in the King's Indian. You know, I mean, that's what he did. He borrowed all their ideas, put them together, and he basically built, you know, the King's Indian for himself and then improved upon it. But all the Soviet players were the ones who were the real revolutionaries in the King's Indian. Fischer just sort of stole the opening from them, although he improved it dramatically. Well, it's very hard to play weird openings against someone who plays the English with the Botvinnik system. Are you just trying to frustrate me or what here? I've actually played this similar position with white, probably. Typically his knight would go on e2. I think I had the same kind of position with my knight on e2 once in a game against German IM Florian Graffel. Here I have the option to play bishop g4 and to go for badges, and we should get gopher badges. King h8 maybe. So what's my threat? Bishop g4, h3, bishop f3, give it up, play for the dark squares. Pretend there are no white squares on the board. Ghost piece. Dutch versus English. Has there ever been a war? Better ask Nils. Have the Dutch ever fought against the English? NATO is kind of falling apart, so we might see it in the near future. I don't want any surprises. I'm just pretending there are no white squares at this point. My entire position is built around dark squares. We're going to attempt to turn it into a ghost piece. Boleslavsky, Bronstein, Geller. Yeah, I mean, all those guys. Unbelievable. Great King's Indian players. So many. Modern defense is good. It's a good way to play for a win, but I think it's not as good as it once was. It used to be when information was less, readily available. I think G6 was maybe the best opening to play for a win, especially below 2200. But it seems like, yeah, so the answer to your question is yes. I think that the modern is a good opening. What was I saying? Opposite bishops. I love opposite bishops. Please don't take it, okay? You'll ruin my structure. But the thing about the modern is secrets have been really revealed by modern databases and stuff like that. It's not as secret as it once was. E5. What if I take and play E5? This is sick. This is sick. E5. Botvinnik would be proud. Actually, Chigorin would be proud. We're trying to play like Chigorin. But he may be better now. Do your worst. Damn, dude. Just incorrigible. He's absolutely incorrigible. Oof. Wow. I have this. Morales is strong, man. It was a little extreme to give up 2 knights for the 2 bishops, but it's our theme of the day. Chigorin. Making Chigorin proud. Well, I mean, it's hard to judge Capablanca understanding the King's Indian, which was an opening that basically didn't exist in his lifetime. It's not like the King's Indian didn't really exist until the 30s. Probably. I mean, there were occasional players who sort of came close to playing the King's Indian as we know it today. But you only really are a product of your generation or whatever. So what's up? Breyer is from the Hungarian Empire. They have a Hungarian team championship division named for Breyer. I'm not sure of his life, story, where he lived. Possibly was even Hungarian. I mean, but it's not really a Hungarian name. But he's definitely considered by the Hungarians to be part of their chess history. I'm not sure of the historical backstory. Breyer. We all know the variation of the Broy Lopez. The Breyer system. It's an interesting game. Now, Morales should play rook c2, rook f2. But I'll take it if he goes there. I'm sure he has a good move. This is a tough game, dude. Okay, guys. Next stream. We're here for another 20 minutes. I got time for another game or two, but next stream is Thursday, tomorrow morning. Gonna be playing Blitz. It looks like Morales failed to find a good move there. I think he had bishop h6. Preventing rook f8 would have been better. Now it looks like black is in command. Getting that rook to the f file is kind of nasty. No, I was talking about my rook. All right. All right. Not your rook, my rook. What do I have here? Anything? Oof. This is really awkward. Queen takes d4. Almost works. Queen takes d4, pawn takes, bishop takes, rook f6. Ugh. Nice square you got there. The two knights. The triumph. Triumph of the two knights. Oh no. He's still hanging in there, but it's over. All right, man. That was bishop h6. I think you're still hanging tough on bishop h6. Let's see. You play queen d3 in the critical position. Apparently, even king h1 is okay, but you got to be careful here. Yeah, bishop h6 maintains equality. I have to play rook g8, then you play like king h2, and I thought it's not clear. All right, man, tough game. So we got re-challenges from Artur and Vahag. I have time for another game at least. Does anybody who hasn't played already want to play? Before we move on to a re-challenge from someone we've played previously. And actually, Artur, we didn't play today. My bad. All right. That was yesterday. Weird opening stream. What am I going to do? It just keeps going along my theme of let's play the Danish in honor of someone on sound. I was joking with JCS earlier today that I'm going to publish a book and call it Dominating with the Black Mardeemer. It would go in hand and help promote my... It would help promote my weird opening stream, basically. I didn't get to play the Black Mardeemer. It would be a good idea, actually. I like to play that in Blitz. It's fine. I mean, I don't usually do it, but for the sake of the weird opening stream, the Black Mardeemer would be... The nice thing about the Black Mardeemer it's obviously, like the Smith-Morra, great opening. If you don't mind losing your opening advantage by force, it's very forcing, to play d4, d5, and then e4. What can black do, The goring. Yeah, this is in honor of someone on sound. His favorite opening. But I don't really know the theory. Knight f3 now? Should we just take? I think we should just take at this point. We always have compensation. Yeah, no, the main line is takes. The main line is takes. I mean, I know that. It's like takes, bishop e4 check. Am I wrong? Thinking of a different line. Take, is it d5? Feeding the pawn back, I think. I never should have opened the window. It's like freezing in here now. Yeah, taking is the main line, Scottie Pippen. There's games. It's actually recommended for black. But then you like give the pawn back, actually, in the main variation. This one I don't know. This doesn't... ring a bell. What is he doing, actually? I mean, I could take there anyway. Knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, not so good. That knight on a5 looks dubious. Dubiously placed. So... okay, if queen a4 check, c6... it doesn't look so great, but it would enable me to move quickly to castle. Queen a4 check, c6 castles, b5. Queen a4 check, c6 castle, b5, rook e1 check, bishop e7. And then I run out of steam. It's not necessary to play queen a4 check, though. I mean, I could just castle. That's kind of weak, though. He just takes on c4, lets me check and take the piece back, and then he completes his development. What I'm trying to do is trap the black king in the center, if it's possible. I don't think it's possible. I guess I can play, like, bishop d3. I don't know. Wow. That's interesting. Well, I'm just going to develop. And weight has compensation, I would say. This player is just very inconsistent. One game he played like a 1200, and one game he played like a 2200 against me. That's unusual. Don't know what we're going to get today. That's why he averages out at 1800. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He has 1,000-point rating deviation on a game-to-game basis. We try to trap him in the center here. I think we have compensation. That's definite. Whether I'm winning or not, I have to ask the Oracle. It does look good, though. I mean, truthfully, how is he gonna get his king out of the center? The gangsta Goring. Gotta find a good G adjective for our groundbreaking book on the Goring Gambit. Queen somewhere, but where? Queen C, no. Any G adjectives come to mind? JCS? Maybe not an adjective, maybe a noun. Will attract a cult following by promoting a dubious gambit. Become world famous. Okay, I'll stop. The gruesome. Good one. Now a noun. Gravity in the Goring. I'm liking this. I'm liking this now. It's growing on me. Growing with the Goring. Rook d8. Kapling. The gravitational Goring. All right, that was fun. We have last challenge. I really don't have time for a 7-3 game. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I've got to go. I've got a bunch of work today, so making videos and other fun stuff like lessons. I'm going to be back on Thursday morning. Tomorrow morning is a stream. We're going to play Fast Blitz with all challengers. So if I didn't get to play you today, we'll play tomorrow. Thanks to JCS and Mr. Coffee for stopping by. All of our subscribers, former subscribers. This was fun. Yeah, I'm curious. I don't think his D5, because I have a couple minutes. I don't think his D5 is a move. Yeah. I should show you guys the proper line. As Scottie Pippen asked, I mean, this is the normal continuation. C takes b2, bishop takes b2, d5. But I think the theory here in the gruesome goring, the future topic of my groundbreaking book, I think theory in variations like this necessarily hasn't been explored deep enough, because people, not enough strong players especially, are really playing it with white because it sucks, basically. Kind of like the Smith-Morra. But we can pretend that it's good for white, if we can just convince enough followers that it's a good thing. But basically here in the main line, white is minus 0.8. Knight f6 is unexplored, a completely feasible move. But anyway, the line that I've been taught to play was like d5, bishop takes d5, knight f6. And then it's funny, like bishop takes f7, king takes f7, queen takes d8, bishop b4 check, queen d2, and you give the material back. But this position is actually, I don't know, I like white here because white has a strong pawn in the center. Material is equal, and it's opposite colored bishops, which favors the side with the dynamic advantage. There's a game here, Kritz versus Pilgard from 2000. But I just don't know if I like this recommendation. Black has to find better than this. That's, for me, not good enough. So the strong pawn, I would think, gives white the better chances in this position. Anyway, this move that my opponent played is not a move I'm supposed to take with the pawn. I did. He played knight a5, and I didn't pull the trigger on queen a4 because I didn't see anything clear here. But apparently it's stronger than I thought, because after c6 I can just take. I think I looked at queen e7, that's not a problem. This is a huge threat, though. I didn't appreciate how strong that is, basically. Knight takes c6, knight e5. Black is barely hanging on after bishop e6. Bishop e6, fe6, knight c6. b6, queen c6 check, king f7, I assume. Yeah, this is horrific. I mean, black is just down a pawn here for absolutely nothing, maybe less than nothing. So the gruesome goring, very powerful and completely unsound. Thanks, guys, for joining me for unsound gambits and other weird openings here on lichess.org. International Master William Paschall will be back on Thursday with Fast Blitz in the morning tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central European Time. I'll see everybody later. Thanks for joining us. JCS, Mr. Coffee, Uber Driver, all the regulars, and more. It was fun, guys. I'll see you. And don't forget that Friday is our subscriber stream. I'll send a message about that right now. So subscriber stream, submit your games for analysis. It will be Friday instead of Thursday. Thanks, everybody. Please support the stream if you can. Please subscribe and help me keep this thing going. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.